And we begin tonight at 6 with a murder charge just filed against a 21-year-old accused of using racial slurs before a shooting outside of an Indianapolis bar.
Our Ashton Hackman was in the courtroom for the man's initial hearing today and now explains why this shooting wasn't the first time that IMPD were called to that bar.
Court documents say a fight here at the Mucky Duck on July 17th boiled over into another fight in the parking lot. Police credit witnesses helping them track down that suspect quickly.
Those witnesses told police 24-year-old Caden Douglas was in a fight inside the bar Thursday night. A security guard eventually tossed Douglas out. Court documents say the security guard called Douglas aggressive and obviously drunk. Another fight boiled over into the parking lot, where court documents say 28-year-old Jeremy Dillingham intervened. Witnesses told police Douglas hopped into his car and started yelling the N-word, telling Dillingham to come to the car window. A customer told police he heard a gunshot before the driver took off in the car.
That's one of the most discouraging things about a case like that. This is a combination of alcohol, racism, and violence.
Douglas appeared in court Tuesday wearing his jail suit and shackles. The judge read him his charges and entered a preliminary not guilty plea. A man who police say has no criminal past, now facing a charge of murder.
Unfortunately, we're seeing more and more individuals who have little or no criminal history, and their first offense ends up being a murder charge.
The July 17th homicide wasn't the first time police were called to the Mucky Duck pub off Southport Road. According to online police report records from IMPD, since 2014, police have been called dozens of times, including several fights, 3 shots fired calls in 2021 and 2022, and a group brawl in 2014. I called the bar asking to talk to the owner and was told there would be no comment.
As with all murder cases in Indiana, Douglas will stay in jail until his trial. He's set to be back in court in September. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Now, there is no standalone hate crime charge here in Indiana. The Marion County prosecutor says his office was only able to file a firearm enhancement.
Looks like it's going to be a warm evening all across central Indiana as we take a live look at downtown Indianapolis. Lots of blue sky and sunshine. Didn't feel real muggy today.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is the 11th day in a row where we've been only in the 80s.
Right, 84 right now.
Yeah,
We'll
temperatures, it's been 11 days since we've been in the 90s. Tomorrow, I think we go back into the 90s.
Okay.
But the difference you were talking about is the humidity. Yeah. And that really makes all the difference this time of year. So let's talk about those numbers. Yes, the numbers are into the 80s, 84, and nailed it there with 87 in Terre Haute, but also 81 in Richmond. So it depends on which half of the state you're in to determine just how much warmer it feels. The humidity is a big role in what we talk about the feels like temperature. And there's been some east winds that have brought in some drier. These are the dew points. Basically what you need to know is 70 is the number where it really gets into that humid air mass. Anything above 70, it almost feels kind of swampy and Florida-like. If the humidity, if the dew point is lower than that, feels quite comfortable. Some 50s and 60s showing up here. It doesn't make it as difficult to cool your body down when you're outside. Look at the humid air mass that's to our west. This is what's moving our way, and it will be here by tomorrow. So for this evening, it is going to be warm, but it shouldn't feel terribly muggy. Temperatures will cool down into the 60s during the overnight with clear skies. The next 3 days, though, it's got 90s in the forecast. With the humidity a factor, especially on Thursday, our hottest day. I'm going to talk about what that means for your heat index values and storm chances that have taken a little bit of break as well. I'll have that for you coming up.
In the courtroom, a Lafayette man now is on trial for the murder of a 4-year-old boy. This crime occurred nearly 2 years ago.
Our Rich Knight takes us into the courtroom tonight as the jury must decide if that man is guilty of killing his cousin's son.
4-year-old Keandre Jolly died of blunt force trauma to the head. The relative who was watching him while the boy's mother was at the food pantry is on trial for murder. The prosecution believes Montrell Jolly beat Keandre to death.
Montrell didn't like that Keandre couldn't put his shoes on the right feet, so he told Keandre to get on the wall and do wall sits.
Montrell told police in this interview captured on body cam video at the hospital that Keandre suddenly collapsed while doing wall sits. The boy was flown to Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis and died 4 days later. Doctors found bruises all over his body and brain damage. The defense argues Montrell is not solely responsible.
Was mom there when he had the seizure? Was she not there when he had the seizure? Did the seizure start as a result of something my client did, something mom did earlier in the day?
The jury is expected to begin deliberations on Thursday. In Lafayette, Rich Knight, 13 News.
Tonight, phase 1 of IMPD's 5-year strategic plan is now complete.
A lot of people weighed in. Over 2,000 community members and 1,000 department staff gave IMPD feedback on how to best keep Indy safe.
A local consulting firm called Taylor Advising sent out some surveys, conducted interviews, and held listening sessions. Taylor will now draft a structured 5-year plan for IMPD based on the data they collected.
How do we balance the needs of the community with the needs and the demands of modern policing? And it really is looking at how do we find out what are the needs for the IMPD.
That drafted plan will be open for IMPD and the public to review in the fall.
After that, the final draft of the 5-year plan is expected in early 2026.
Tonight, a former township trustee in Columbus is now charged with several counts of theft and official misconduct.
Investigators say that Benjamin Jackson used the township's credit cards to finance everything from travel to home improvements. Emily Longnecker in Columbus tonight with reaction to this news. Emily?
Well, court documents allege that Jackson told investigators that he knew what he was doing was wrong and hid it from township staff. When this investigation by the Indiana State Police started this past November, Jackson resigned.
More than $1 million. That's how much investigators say Jackson spent on lavish trips and other personal expenses, including his kids' college tuition, utility bills, and landscaping. According to court documents, Jackson's attorney turned over credit card statements showing the purchases made using the township credit cards from 2016 through 2024. Current Columbus Township trustee Chris Weisner issued a statement about the charges against Jackson. The statement said in part, quote, "This is a huge relief for myself and my office. I have reviewed the State Board of Accounts information, and it sickens me to see the amount of township money that was used for personal reasons." Weisner's statement went on to say the trustee's office had changed its internal controls and become more transparent, and now had a financial firm overseeing the township's finances. Jackson has been charged with 9 counts of theft and 9 counts of official misconduct.
Now, the judge initially assigned to Jackson's case recused herself. Now a special judge has been appointed, and there is a warrant tonight for Jackson's arrest.
Tonight, a patient is suing Community Health Network after a data breach that occurred back in February.
So this lawsuit is seeking class action status for all customers impacted by this breach. The lawsuit claims the company failed to take necessary steps to protect private patient information.
Community Health says it learned in May that private data may have been accessed through unauthorized access to an employee email. A notice posted on their website said that they will notify any individual impacted.